There are so many ways for you to show up online, profit, and make an impact with your business. That's what the Heart-Centered Business Success Show is all about. Inspiring you with stories of generous women and equipping you with real strategies to help your business succeed, because I know you've got a powerful gift to share. Thanks for tuning into the show. Thank you for being with me here, Lindsey. I'm here with Lindsey Aleson, who is a graphic designer and tech strategist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes. So why don't you just kick us off by letting us know a little bit about your business? What do you do online?
I'm a graphic designer and tech strategist for female infopreneurs and content creators looking to banish their fears of tech and design, feel empowered, and stand out online. So basically, I like to, on the graphic design side, I like to help take existing brands and translate it into useful marketing pieces. So like your ebooks, your webinar slides, your courses from slides to workbooks and all of that stuff, and like social media and Facebook ads. And then on the tech side, I just like helping you figure out your ConvertKit, all that fun stuff, all the automations and setting up ClickFunnels and lead pages, and not only setting up the back end, but doing the landing page design and all of that stuff. So kind of mesh the two together.
So good. And tell us, how did you get started on this? Have you always done, spoiler alert, I love that you've done this forever kind of, but have you always done this, or when did this start for you as a business?
If I go way back, it really started when I was really little. We used to live with my grandparents because my parents got divorced when I was younger, and my grandpa's an aerospace engineer. So I used to help check the electric stuff at home, fix my mom's car and all this stuff. So we would talk about all of this crazy stuff. And he bought me my first computer at 11. He actually bought me computer parts, and he laid it out on the pool table, and we built my first computer. And shortly after that, I taught myself how to code. It was back when those drag and drop doll websites were huge. I had my own drag and drop doll website at 11 or 12, not quite sure what age it was. And I just kind of taught myself to code by looking at the back end. And back then it was Jasp Paint Shop Pro was bigger than Photoshop or something like that. And I just kind of taught myself design and code. So that's how I really got into it. And then going through school, I wasn't sure that I could do it as a career, like web design type stuff. So I went into business and then computers, and then journalism was what I landed on with. But I took design classes and coding classes along the way. And that's just where my interest was. And when I would have time to myself, I'd be coding or I'd be designing. And I soon realized that that's really what I wanted to do. And at my 9-to-5 job, I was kind of stuck in a position where I couldn't do that kind of stuff. And I just decided that I would take the leap of faith and jump and try to do it on my own.
So good. And how did you connect with, after you took the leap, how did you connect with your first paying client?
So I've also been blogging since about 2010. So I've kind of been in the online space for a while now. But Facebook groups were kind of huge. I'm trying to think. I met a few friends in some Facebook groups, and we were both trying to launch our business at the same time, me and one of my friends. And I hadn't even officially offered services yet. They weren't on my website, but my friend needed social media templates for her social media business is what she was starting. So she was my first client. She was a friend. But we were an online friend though. So it wasn't like somebody that I knew in real life. We had met in a Facebook group, and we had been talking for a while at that point, and she just needed Facebook templates. So it was still formal. There was still contract and everything, because you need to be smart, but she was my first client. And I think my second client was also a friend from, I think, the same Facebook group. So it was just the Facebook groups, and just starting to get to know people eventually led to clients when I was kind of ready along the way.
I love that story, especially because I feel like so many people early on are nervous about doing business with business friends, right? Mm-hmm. And I just read a quote, I don't remember what book it was, but this week that basically said, you really should do business with your friends, right? The people mm-hmm. that share core values with you, that are on the same thought train mm-hmm. are the best people to work with. So tell me how, was that natural for you to do business with friends, or was that hard for you?
No, it was actually really easy. And actually, now that you said that, that's actually bringing me back. Probably my first paying client was actually probably my best friend in real life. She's a photographer, a wedding photographer, and she's needed me to do like postcards, like price cards for events and updating like social media headers and like all that good stuff. I do a lot of print stuff for her. And back in the day, she was going to launch a wedding blog, like around beach stuff. It didn't end up going through, but I did the branding for that. And so she was actually probably my first paying client. So it actually did go quite easy, but yeah, it kind of felt natural. But she's kind of the same way. I mean, she obviously does in-person business rather than online business, but we're like the same kind of person, and you know, she really respects what I do, and obviously I respect what she does. She did my headshots and stuff like that, so it was really easy to make the transition, and it felt comfortable because I didn't feel like she was trying to take advantage. Like, you know, she still paid me or stuff like that, even though I do stuff for her for free just because she's my best friend. But she doesn't ask me to, and so I'm like, no, it's fine. I got this. And then with the online friends, it just still transitioned to easy, because it wasn't somebody like trying to get something for free. It went the normal business route, and she really respected me. So I think that's why it worked so well. It wasn't just somebody coming to me and asking for something. She knew that, you know, I was trying to start a business. She was trying to do the same thing. So she respected my time as, you know, as well as I respected hers.
Yes, totally. And what I hear you saying too is when you have healthy friends with healthy boundaries, then it's awesome to do business with your friends, right? And this is something that I was like terrified of coming from like the therapy world, where it's like extreme boundaries, like you'd never do therapy with your friend, you know, but it's like, so I think that's something I've like built a lot of trust in for myself, but I love that like you had that, like you came into the scene. And I love what you said too about like, even though you were doing business with friends, like you still had a contract, they still paid you your full price. Like, how did you make it, like, what are the boundaries you put in place to make that a successful client relationship?
I'll be honest, I'm still trying to fully figure that out. I still need to set some boundaries. I feel with my friends, it's actually easier to set boundaries because they respect than some clients that aren't exactly friends. Sometimes I have a little bit of an issue setting some boundaries because it's like I want it to be so good, and I want them to really enjoy the finished product and stuff. That I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit. But yeah, just contract up front, signed, and either deposit or full paid before I start working on it, depending on, you know, the size of the project. I mean, my friends normally pay me after, but I know that they're going to pay me. So I'm a bit more lax on, well, my best friend, online friends pay me first, just because it's not like I'm going to see them at Disneyland or something where, you know, type thing. But contract and payment first before I start working. And that just helps because then I know it's a for sure job. And if something else comes up, if I'm not paid, I'll probably take it on, because there's no guarantee until you're paid. Because I've got to myself in an issue where I think I'm going to have work, so I kind of turn something down or push something off, and then I lose that client, and then something falls through because I didn't have the payment. So while it's not all about the money, I still need to pay the bill. So it's just, you need to find that boundary. But contract and deposit is key up front. And it protects you as well as the client too, because it sets the boundaries of what they expect from you and when you need to deliver stuff to them as well. So it's protection for both sides.
I love that. I agree. And I think, like you said, like your friends, your business friends are going to get that, right? Because they're running stuff too. And they know, like, so besides having a contract, having that payment or deposit up front, like what would be your other advice in working with, like business friends or people that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's you can kind of tell when you're talking to somebody what their motives are a little bit, especially when you start to know them more. You can kind of like read in between the lines. So you can kind of tell if someone's constantly coming to you for free advice and that's like all you talk about. And then all of a sudden they ask you to do something and you're like, well, is this going to be like paid, or are they kind of asking for a favor? Where there's others, like my friend, one of my online business friends, who I've done a ton of repeat. She constantly comes to me, which is great. Like we just did her podcast, logo and branding, and you know, she's like, "Can you do this?" And then I said, "Yeah." And then she's already just like invoice me. Like we don't even like And it's like, okay, perfect. It's not that weird thing, but sometimes you can tell like somebody's like trying to steer the conversation away from payment or away, trying to get a few extra things in. And it's kind of hard to, I feel you just kind of have a feeling in you if something doesn't feel right. But I'm also not a naturally suspicious person. So I tend to think the best of people. So it's one of those things, but sometimes you just have a feeling and it does, something feels a bit off. But yeah, if they're steering away from payment or constantly trying to change the subject, probably they're trying to get something for free, and you just need to kind of set a boundary there because it is your business. It's how you pay the bills. It's not like you're money hungry or anything. You need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, and especially in the online space, because you don't really get to see people face to face normally. Especially if you primarily talk via email or something, you don't normally get to see people. So just trying to look for those cues so that they're trying to steer away from the important aspects, or if they don't want to sign a contract or anything like that, those are kind of like red flags that probably not the best person to work with, because you don't want it ruining your like relationship if you're like a friend or anything like that. So you just want to keep it kind of as clean as possible.
So is getting that payment and contract up front before you dive into the work how you set that boundary, or do you do anything else to set that boundary?
Yeah, definitely contract and payment up front. Right now, I'm working on refining my like client experience because it's something that I haven't really done. So I'll be creating like a welcome packet that will explain, because I'm horrible at email right now. Like I'll answer at all hours of the night. If I'm on my computer, I'll remember to use Boomerang so it doesn't look like I'm sending an email at 1 a.m. But it's going to map out like my office hours type stuff, like when I'm going to be responding to emails. When I'm going to be responding to emails, I'll be having a more solid timeline type stuff, like and enforcing the timeline, I guess, too, because that kind of helps, because I need to respect their boundaries of their time and when stuff needs to be done, but they also need to respect mine as well, so I can get stuff done on time, and it's not like they get it to me like Wednesday at like 10 o'clock at night and they need it like Thursday morning, because it's like that's never a fun place to be in. But yeah, just the contract, the invoice, and then with that welcome packet, I'm just going to kind of outline it more. And on my sales page now, I kind of map out the process. They should be live soon, but I kind of map out the process for them so they know what to expect even before we get on a discovery call, which I'll be starting to do because they're bigger price packages now. And I'll just go over that kind of in the discovery call, so it's not like all of a sudden they don't know that it's, that I only answer my emails at this time. So it's kind of, I guess you have to walk them through what your boundaries are and make sure they see it, like maybe have a call and go over those points in your contract or something like that. Because I've heard people, they haven't gone over something, and just because somebody signs a contract doesn't mean that they fully read it, which is awful. But I feel like as people were kind of like just sign stuff. I mean, when you get a cell phone, you don't read that, I don't know how many page contract, because they're staring at you the whole time. So you just kind of sign it because you feel awkward, even though, you normally have more time on the online space. But people don't normally read it. So just kind of really enforcing those pieces ahead of time and maybe consistently throughout the process, just so I don't want to say strict, but they know your boundaries, and you need to stay within those boundaries too. Because the moment you break it, the client's going to be like, oh, she's not serious, because I've done that before, and I'm trying to get in a better habit just because it's better for me and it's better for the client too. All of my clients,
Yes. I love how you brought up not only how you set up boundaries with someone before you work together, but also you talked about like when someone is a client, there's still the need for boundaries, right? And you as the business owner are the one that establishes that, right? Like kind of as like the leader in that business relationship.
Yeah. And that was hard for me to kind of realize that I know they are hiring me, but it is my business and I need to guide them and set those boundaries, or else even if they don't realize that they're doing it, they can walk all over you. Like some people don't realize that they're doing it because, other people do, but some people don't realize that they're kind of pushing the boundaries and something, and it's just hard. So you need that reminder. in
I
there.
agree. I agree that I think most people don't intentionally do it. And
Mm-hmm.
in my business, the times when I felt like, oh, this person is kind of like, I wouldn't say it, but like basically violating my boundaries, it's
Mm-hmm.
really mostly because I haven't been clear or confident enough to really set them.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you brought that up. It's powerful. Beautiful. Okay. Second question is, in this whole process of building your online business and welcoming clients, what has been your biggest #heart-centered problem that you feel like you're working on or have overcome?
It's charging what I'm worth. I know we've talked about this, on numerous occasions, but it's definitely charging what I'm worth, because I like to help people that are kind of just starting out, or at least that's kind of what I started with. And I'm always going to like to help them. That's kind of what my blog is for and stuff like that. But design wise, I'm finally starting to realize that I like helping more established people. So with the more established people, that means I need higher prices anyways, because I need to attract them, because if I'm charging like, $100 for something, they're going to be like, she doesn't know what she's doing. Why is it so low, or stuff like this. So it's kind of that thing too. But it's me feeling comfortable with charging that much, because something might take me like a half hour. So it's like, even though I realize that it should be the worth of the project and the value you bring, not really the amount of time you do it. And that's hard for me. That's hard for me to do. So my new packages that I'm almost about to finally get out there, I might actually launch them in January, because I'm not taking any new clients in December.
By the time this interview comes out,
Yes.
you'll probably be able to go to Lindsey's website and see her beautiful packages.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But I've raised the prices on those, and even so, they still scare me a little bit. But I even know that they probably should be higher, but I can't make myself do that yet. I need to work on, once I get a few clients, I think I'll feel comfortable with the new packages to up the prices a little bit more. But I need to get in the group. But they're up from what I have been charging now, which is I guess the important thing. But I think it's because I don't want to have people think that all I want is money, because there's, that's kind of going around. People are just like money hungry. It's like, I'm not money hungry, but I need to be able to pay my bills. And when you work for yourself, there's more expenses. You have to pay for your taxes. You have to pay for your insurance. You have to pay for all this stuff. So it's like making $40 an hour for your own is almost like making 20 at a job, because you have all those other expenses. So it's hard, but I'm working on it. And me charging what I'm worth doesn't mean that I'm like money hungry. It's just helping me pay the bills, and it helps me serve my clients better, because then I don't need to take on as many clients, and I can focus more on the ones that I do have.
Yes. And anyone who knows you for like 5 seconds or more knows that like money hungry is like the last thing that would ever come to their mind to describe you.
Yeah.
We're so service oriented, and I love what you said, like you deliver a great product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me though, how you made the shift from charging only hourly to charging, because like you said, like you're really good and efficient at what you do, and so you were almost like getting punished for being efficient by charging hourly, right? But like, how did you get the courage to transition to charging in packages?
So that was also hard for me, because as a graphic designer, it's at first I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll do it per project. But then since I was just starting out, I didn't know how long it was going to take me per project to kind of get the average or baseline. So I'm like, I'll do packages of hours. Nobody was buying packages of hours. So I think it's harder for them to kind of compute what they get with the package of hours. So that was hard. So then I went into kind of a la carte products, and that's what I have on my website now. And strangely enough, I've always told you that nobody goes to my website. I've gotten 2 inquiries from my website because I haven't changed it yet. I mean, they're smaller projects, but it's still exciting that people are actually going to my website now and using the form to contact me, because before it's all been through Facebook groups and all through referrals. But it took me a little bit to realize what projects I liked working on best. And it was the ebooks and, like I said, the webinar slides, and then the courses, which are kind of the combination of the two, like the workbooks and slides. And then I started to think, well, how can I serve my audience better? And it's like, what do they need when they create an ebook? It's not just an ebook. They need the mock-ups, they need the social media, promo graphics, they need the Facebook ads, they need, like all the stuff that goes in it. So I'm like, it would be cheaper for me to put together a package knowing that they're going to get it all up front rather than coming to me like a la carte where, I have like a minimum price for a project right now. Like, so it makes more sense to get it in a package, and I feel comfortable giving a little bit of a discount knowing that they're going to get all of it up front and it's guaranteed income rather than them coming from me a few months later saying, oh, I need promo graphics. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that, because that's not guaranteed. So it's really serving the audience, my clients, better because I know what they need to launch either an ebook, or their webinar or their course, what all is included. Even though, because sometimes they don't really think about it. So it's helping the client more, and then it allows me to work on the stuff that I enjoy best too. Because I think I have business cards and I have stuff on my website right now, but they're not my favorite things to, or I'll use more logos. Logos are on my website right now, but logos aren't my favorite things to design right now. And I think it's more of who I'm attracting right now, that I'm not attracting the right people who are in the stage where they know what they want or are really ready to take that huge step to pay for a logo. But yeah, I know what I enjoy working on, and I know what they need, what my clients need to get the job done. So it was kind of a combination of what's best for me, as well as what I can do that's best for my client as well.
Yes. And I feel like it's almost always that way, right? Like what is best for us as a business to stay open and thrive and stay profitable is what's best for our clients too, if your heart is in the right place.
Yes.
What was I going to say? I love what you brought up about, I don't know. You made a lot of good points. I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I love what you were saying about, I forgot it again. In your business, I don't remember.
I tend to ramble, so I can't even remember what I just said.
You're great. No, you were saying in your business. Oh. You were saying you started learning after working with clients that business owners that were a little further along were a little bit better of a fit for you, right? Because they know what they want. They hopefully already have their branding done. Like they're not coming to you and expecting you to do more than be a graphic designer, right?
Exactly.
How did you discover your niche, right? Or the people that were a good fit for working with you?
Yeah, it was some good clients and some bad clients. I think that's kind of always how it is as a graphic designer, people assume you do websites. And I do have a background in coding, and I did my own website, even though I'll be changing it up. So it might be, when this launches, it might be different than it is now. And I actually just bought a theme because I don't have the time right now to go figure out some coding things that I wanted to change on my site. And even though I do get compliments on the site, there are things about, it's my site. You're always going to be nitpicky about your own site.
Yes, your site is gorgeous.
So just kind of going to change that up a bit. But it's like people expect you to do websites, even though a web designer and a graphic designer are two different things. And with a background in coding, because, I've done all my own stuff, I'm like, okay, I can do this. But I got a client who, she needed her site updated for sure, but what she wanted, she wasn't in the place for it. Like how sites have those big, beautiful images and all of this kind of stuff, but the copy wasn't there. And obviously a graphic designer is not a copywriter. She didn't have the images to do those big, beautiful images. So it's like what she wanted and what I had didn't work. And it wasn't really a great working experience. I don't think for either one of us, quite frankly. It's done and it's out, and I'm doing another website now. It's gone on for a few months now. The client's great, but I'm not enjoying it. And we've had setbacks on both ends. But more, her business kind of took a different turn. So she's been focusing on different things, which is super, super exciting for her, but it means the website kind of took a back seat. We should be finishing this month, if by the end of January at the absolute latest. We've kind of set that down. We've fixed those boundaries of what we're going to be doing, which is great. But I'm still not enjoying it as much as I am doing. I love doing ebooks. I love working in InDesign and designing the ebooks, or I like to do my slides in just Google Sheets just because it's easier so the clients can see it kind of as I'm working if they want. And those are just the things I enjoyed the most and was excited to work on. Like if I had a big list of stuff that I needed to do, I would go to one of those first. And that was kind of my tell that that's what I enjoy doing. Like in school with all of my work, I would always go to math first. Like even if it's the thing that I really didn't need to do, it was always the thing I would go to first, and everything else would kind of, go to the wayside. Like this is when I was doing like computers and stuff, when I had math. Obviously when I did journalism, that I didn't have any of that stuff, but it's like what I would focus on first and what I was excited to work on, because you have to kind of learn. And it was hard because people expect me to do websites, but I realized that I don't enjoy doing them for other people. So
I love that it sounds like you were paying attention to what you most enjoyed. Like I love that example of like looking at your to-do list and what are the things that you hop to, right? Yeah, so good, Lindsey. Well, thank you for being here and sharing your heart and your expertise. And I feel like you gave so many helpful nuggets when it comes to, especially starting out in your business. Like, how do you figure out, like we just talked about, who it is that you want to work with, and how do you charge people, and where are you finding these clients from, and how do you connect? And it's beautiful. So people are watching this and need help in any of the things that you talked about. How do they find you online, and do you have any free resources?
Yeah, so the best place to find me is on my website at www.wildlylovely.com if you're interested in like graphic designer tech work. If you're more interested in like a community, I have a free Facebook group, and you can just go to thelovelyentrepreneurssociety.com and it'll redirect you to the Facebook page. So I have a few free resources. Didn't get the links beforehand, but I have a big list of Facebook groups to join for bloggers and creative entrepreneurs that I'm getting ready to update probably this week. So it should be updated by the time you guys see this. I don't know when this is airing. And then I have a big content creation workbook too. And I think these are both linked in my Facebook group really, really easily. But you should be able to find them pretty easy on my website as well.
So good. Thank you, Lindsey. Grateful for you and just how you're showing up online, and to be connected with you.
Yeah, thanks. I had fun.